Hey, the legacy builders, welcome back. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If not, welcome back. My name is Takesha, and today we are going to do something a bit, unfortunately, common these days, and that is review some videos about what's happening everywhere. People are losing their jobs. 2025 started off completely strange, but prior to 2025, technically I had a dose of this reality myself. Here in Augusta, Georgia, there was a hurricane, an unexpected, never ever happening in Augusta, Georgia, ever natural disaster occurred. The day before, I was doing Uber and gig work. The day after, we had no electricity, no orders were coming in because we had no internet, no one had any money. The cell towers were down that I used for the communication aspect of my job. The roads were literally shattered with debris. Street lights did not work. Like I said, electricity was completely off. And I had a real unfortunate, mind-blowing realization that this thing called employment, if you're relying on one stream of income, can shatter your entire existence if one thing happens and now you don't have any money coming in because that one source of income has dissolved. Well, unfortunately, these people are experiencing that reality. Let's take a look. We're going to start at the beginning.
You know, because of Trump, I've just been let go. I've just lost my job. As a matter of fact, our whole entire department lost their jobs. I was one of the head research analysts for a specific department, and we were in charge of discovering who let the dogs out. And now, you know, because I've been let go of this job and our entire department has been let go, the world will never know who let the dogs out. And all those years and all that research that was done, it just goes right down the drain. And I don't know. It's horrible that the world will never know about those dogs.
So, I have news that I don't want to share with you, but I have to.
Okay, I'm prepared.
And this is why I was telling you yesterday all the things that I said, which 100% are true. I am so proud of you and the work that you've done. As part of a company-wide restructure, we have to eliminate certain roles, and unfortunately, your role has been affected. I really enjoyed working with you, and like I've said 100 million times, I feel like a proud mom, like seeing you blossom and turn into this wonderful teammate has been nothing short of a true pleasure.
I don't ever look at things like this as like it's happening to me. It's more so happening for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're an optimistic person, so it sucks. I'm sorry.
It's all a part of the process. Good to me. I've learned so much. Obviously, like I'm sad to like part ways with the people that I met here, but I don't necessarily have to part ways. I can still talk to them. And this might just be that final step that God's like, okay, you're gonna go all in. You need to go all in. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
sink or swim.
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly and then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, you know, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, you know, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, you know, how's it going? You know, normal conversation. And then he goes onto, like, completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple of rental properties, and
they have like multiple streams of income,
like managing them, and yeah, like, I don't know. That was like it. I just said he doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, you know, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's going to be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, you know, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing. Like, no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, you know, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now, and I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. Wow. And I'm just trying to process this. So like, I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competing company.
Wow.
A competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
So guess who's unemployed? Remember when we said at the beginning of the year, 2023 is going to be my year. Maybe it's 2024. So I'm just doing this now. I literally have roughly 6 weeks until I have 0 in my bank account. So I've
He already
decided
does have multiple streams of,
everything's going to be
well,
fine, and I'm just going to
he has a
become a full-time
savings. So it's kind
influencer.
of multiple
Here
streams
is
of
me
income, but he
making
can
some
turn that
toast, because
savings
this is all I can afford right
into another
now. I
income.
haven't
So
even
he
done my
already
food shop,
has
but I've got
the
3
nest
eggs
egg
left.
for emergencies.
Ooh.
Real important, y'all.
I'm just trying to convince myself that everything's going to be okay, and I'm going to be rich and famous by 2024. Oh, I'm over this life. Like, why is it so hard? Like, I'm 29 and I'm now unemployed, no money coming in, no savings. And just to make things better, I've just signed a 12-month lease on this property.
Ooh.
Which I now have to find money for. So yeah, life is great for me right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do.
He has a good
I'm going
sense
to
of
look back in this
humor,
in
but it's tough.
10 years and be like, remember that day when I was made unemployed? Pray for me.
Well, I lost my job today. If you saw my video from this morning, then you know what's going on. But if not, long story short, I worked for a brand new restaurant that did not make it to its first year anniversary, and they decided to close their doors effective immediately.
Food service.
I really liked my job and all of my coworkers, so I'm sad. I've had quite a few different jobs over the past 7 years, and it gets easier to leave jobs when you know that it's the right thing to do, but it's never easy, and it sucks to say goodbye to your coworkers. I feel like a baby for crying on the internet about this. I feel super shallow even saying this, but if anyone wants to just engage with this as much as possible so I could potentially make a few dollars off of this video while money is tight coming up here while I find something new, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if I worked with you for the last 8 months, I love you. I'll miss you.
Oh.
In order to significantly reduce cash flow, me, my manager, and about 40 other employees were just let go from our job. So what better place than to
40
talk to here and
employees.
complain and rant? I just kind of want to rant for a second as a millennial who has heard nonstop for the last decade at every company I've been with that you're family and you're valued at this company. And time and time again, I'm proven that it is all about financials and you are just a number. Even though I had great success at this company, doesn't matter. We'll still let go. And I gotta be honest, I'm in a better position than a lot of people probably were on that call. I'm very thankful, for instance, that I don't have a family that's depending on me. I'm gonna be okay, but there's a lot of people on that call that are really, really upset in this moment, I woke up this morning, I had a full day of work and lunch planned, and it's 9:21 a.m. and I am unemployed. That is the life of pharmaceutical and medical world.
Wow.
It's wild at just how quick and fast these gigs can come and go.
Look at how many career
I'm just tired
choices
of constantly hearing
these
the
let-offs
through the
cover.
interview process that we're looking for longevity and we want and you hear this, and on my resume it's tough because I've worked at a lot of companies now who have done this, restructured or this and that, and it just looks almost bad, you want to say, but also at the same time we know as millennials that the old way of our parents working at one place for 20, 30 years and retiring, that's done.
It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
But it's frustrating as me, as a person, I want to be passionate and love the company I'm at or work with a group that wants to work with me back. I'm ready. I'm in my 30s. I want this. So it's frustrating, and in times like this, it's easy to just completely go off the rails, right? But I do want to use this opportunity because I opened my Bible and leaned on a verse here, and I want to share it with you. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 says, "For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And I'm going to lean on that verse today. Try to have a little bit of peace knowing that, my faith is going to get me through this. And not only that, we've got a lot going on across the nation. You see, it's election year. You've got this whole port strike thing I was just hearing about that could affect a ton of jobs and people and family, and it's tough, man. It's scary times, but my hope and faith is not even really here on this earth. It's with God in heaven, and I hope that this has maybe a little positive impact on somebody, because I'm not feeling the best right now, but I'll find something else, or yeah, it'll work itself out.
So, I lost my job today. Been working for the federal government for over 20 years. I didn't vote for this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm 50. I'll be 51 this year. Nobody's going to hire me. It's age discrimination. They took the DEI out.
DEI is gone.
So I'm not a protected status anymore. I don't even know how to fill out these new applications online. Have you guys seen that? Everything's online. And they offered us 8 months of paid leave, but we didn't think it was real. Like, we thought you guys were going to protect us because we voted for humanity. I mean, every time they've done any kind of assessment on me, I've gotten bonuses, I've gotten paid vacation time, I've got pay raises. I do a great job. I don't deserve this. If you've watched this far, I'm just mimicking everything I've heard about these federal employees losing their jobs. Guess what? You work for us. And a lot of us don't appreciate you trying to guilt us because you were offered 8 months buyout package. I mean, when my husband was laid off 3 months ago, he showed up to work that day and got a pink slip on a Wednesday. That's it. No payday for Thursday or Friday. Go get a new job. No warning, no nothing. That is the reality of when you get laid off.
After 20 years.
You know that private insurance that you have that you're not explaining to all these people feeling sorry for you? Did you guys know that federal employees get a totally different type of insurance than everybody else in America stuck on Obamacare? Yeah, research that for a second. Not to mention they can retire after 20 years with a full retirement and Social Security. I'm sorry, we don't feel bad for you. We know most of you are paid actors from the CIA and the left mainstream media, and you're not fooling the rest of us. Americans, do better. Do better. The federal employee is like the biggest industry in America. That says a lot. We voted for smaller government. We voted for accountability with how you're spending our tax dollars. And I'm sorry. We just don't care.
I don't know what to do. I lost my job. That's the first time I've ever been fired.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what to do now. I was in charge of my department.
Wow.
Like, they couldn't keep me, at least.
Just like they couldn't say my job.
Department.
Fire everybody under me, but
the first one was
not
handing
me.
out golden condoms to leprechauns, and we chased those little shits. I mean, we chased them, but you couldn't catch them. But we weren't done. We weren't done till we caught them. So that's left on my desk. And the other one.
Oh, she didn't even get a chance
was
to
measure how loud a cricket farts.
Okay. Well, she was colorful. At least that wrapped it up with a good sense of humor. But it's really not a funny subject. It's really a terrible subject. And as we're listening to the videos, we're seeing that it really affects all walk of lives, from the young to the old, male, female, employees that are just beginning, and ones that are in manager positions for 20 plus years. So job security sounds like a bit of a thing of the past. It's kind of crazy because some of those clips were even earlier than 2025. And so it's unfortunate to hear that literally people have been losing their jobs for a year plus. And that was kind of under the radar a bit. But now it's so massive because there's so many people being fired all at one time. What does this mean for our economy? What does this mean for real estate? What does this mean for our stock market and our dollar? Are we in a recession? What does this mean for our cities and our states if people can't afford their lifestyles? And now everyone needs government assistance the moment that they're cutting government assistance down. You lose your job, you lose your health care, you lose your benefits. Well, what happens to their insurance plans and their 401ks? If they even had one. So these are a lot of questions, and you just can't unpack it all at one time. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's going to be a while, but it sends at least us in the right direction of pondering why it's important to have multiple streams of income, which is what our channel is about. Not only do we talk about real estate, but we encourage multiple streams of income because of unfortunate situations like this. So hopefully you guys are finding yourself in a better situation than these fellow Americans here in the video clip today. Please consider having multiple streams of income. It is important. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and comment. Take care.